Okay, hi everyone. I'm Kelly. I run Measure Twice, Bake Once. And for like 10 years, my friends have been harassing me to make a YouTube channel. And so here we are. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, so I thought we would make green bean casserole. It's not anything I've ever made. It's not a staple for my Thanksgiving dinner, but we're gonna give it a try today. So I'm just gonna turn my pan on. I also have two cats, so they will be distracting the entire video. I'm going to turn my pan on over medium heat and melt some butter down. And behind me I have shallots and oil toasting. Will be the green onion or the fried onions on top. And so I'll drain those in just a second and show you how I do that. So we're going to turn this on and we're going to put it on medium, which for my induction burner is a 3. And so I have 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, and I'm just going to put that right in there. I'm going to check on these shallots. So what we're doing right now is we are going to melt the butter and then saute mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms or don't like the texture of cooked mushrooms, you definitely don't need this. You could do cream of just about anything. I like mushrooms, I like the flavor, I like the texture when they're cooked, so that's what I'm doing. I think normally this dish is made with cans of everything, like canned green beans and cans of like cream of mushroom soup and cans of fried onions, which is awesome. I love a good, convenient, easy to make meal, but I have a little extra time on my hands these days, so I figured why not try to make the real meal. You good over there? Okay, so our butter is almost all melted. And I'm going to go ahead and add 8 ounces of sliced cremini mushrooms. And this will take a while to cook down, so I'm just going to speed through this. Okay, so the mushrooms, I'm just going to move them over here for right now. This over here. Actually, the mushrooms are going to go over here, and they're going to saute, they'll be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these shallots. They've been cooking in 2 cups of vegetable oil on medium heat for probably 10 minutes, and they've crisped up nicely. And I'm going to take them out. Okay, so I have a liquid measuring cup so I can save all of that oil because it's going to be super delicious and basically has been infusing with shallots. And then a strainer to obviously strain the shallots from the oil. I don't know the best way to do this. Okay, and so these are super crispy. And the best part is they're just going to crisp up more while they hang out. Everyone talks about carryover cooking a lot with meat and stuff, but it works almost with everything else. So you're going to pull them out right before you think they're done because they will go from underdone to perfect in just a few seconds. Okay, so I'm going to get, oven's preheated. I'm going to grab a bowl. Put these in there. And like I said, I'm going to save this oil. I'm just going to set it off to the side because it's super hot. Okay, and so for these shallots, that's my cat, Franklin, climbing the couch. I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of kosher salt. And I did the salt after I took it off the oil because I don't want salt going in that oil. I just want it to be pure shallot infused vegetable oil. Goodness, like that will just get better and a will be great for cooking your other Thanksgiving meal items with. Okay, so these are starting to lightly brown. I'm going to try to flip them because they are a little bigger. So I'm just going to flip them. Yeah, yep, we're going to flip them and then I'm going to speed through this part and we'll come back when these are done. Okay, so the mushrooms are cooked down to my liking. They have good color on them. They're still, they still have texture when you eat them. They're still going to be a little chewy. They're very hot. And I have no idea if this actually helps you see what the mushrooms look like. But I'm going to go ahead and take them off the heat, and then we're going to make our sauce. Yeah, I know. Oops, into the cheese it goes. Great. Okay, so maybe I'll take a picture of the mushrooms and put like an overlay and what they look like so you know. Before I do that, let's make the cream sauce. So I have 2 more tablespoons of butter. In the pan, it's super dark and colorful from all the mushroom flavor. Everyone calls that fond, the delicious stuff at the bottom of the pan. Okay, so 2 more tablespoons of unsalted butter. For the mushrooms, if you wanted to use oil instead, if you made those crispy shallots ahead of time and you wanted to do 2 tablespoons of that oil instead of butter for the mushrooms, that'd be an awesome idea. I think I'm going to switch to a whisk real fast. Okay, so the butter's melted, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. So when you're making a roux sauce, it's equal parts butter to flour. So I'm going to add that in. And just whisk. And this will become very dry. It will look bad. It bubbles up quite nicely at the beginning, but as the butter absorbs that flour and it cooks off, it will become dry. I need to get a second camera so you can see the overhead view. But right now, all I got is my iPhone, so you're welcome. Does this help if I tilt it? Can you see? Okay, now that this is nice and toasty brown, I'm going to add my liquid. And for me, Yeah. First, I'm going to add my garlic. This is 4 large cloves of grated garlic on a microphone. Just going to stir that in. And it's super fragrant immediately. I'm going to tell you, it's not appealing to look at. You're going to put it in and be like, wow, I think I ruined it. You didn't. You're fine. Okay, so now I have 1 cup of homemade chicken stock. You can use vegetable stock for vegetarians. I just don't have any. And 1 cup of heavy cream. And I'm slowly going to add that in. Probably like a quarter at a time. And whisk vigorously. It's also very steamy, as you can tell, so be careful. This is a job for your big whisk, not like a baby whisk. And once all of that liquid gets absorbed, I'm telling you, it looks gross. It looks like dog food. But that's fine. See, it looks gross. We're gonna add another bit of that liquid mixture. And for this, if you wanted to make this ahead of time, this is a great dish to prep, the day before, because you can make this filling and put it all together in the pan, and it will, it'll be fine. because you will bake it off. I would not add the onions to the top though until you were ready to bake it off. Okay, so now we've added about half our mixture and it's looking better. The bottom is also, I'm not going to try to show you, but the bottom is turning back to like the silver stainless color. Okay, second to last pour. Whisking the whole time. If you wanted this to be lighter, I'm sure you could use whole milk. I probably wouldn't go lighter than that. You could use half and half or whole milk, but I think you need that fat content to really help make this dish like put together. The water and fat-free milk and 1% is just, it's too high of a percentage. So it won't ever set up correctly. Okay, so I'm whisking. It's quite liquidy, which is good. But as I'm whisking, I can see parts of the bottom of the pan. Like I do pull those line through and I can see the bottom. And this will thicken up. We're gonna go ahead and add the last quarter of our liquid. Again, that's 1 part chicken or vegetable stock, whatever you prefer. 1 cup heavy whipping cream, half and half, or whole milk. I know nothing about almond milk or coconut milk, oat milk. That's not my jam. So you will not find me using it most of the time. Okay, so this is gonna thicken up. It's quite liquidy. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add some cheese. I probably have half cup to 3/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You could also use cheddar cheese. I think that would be really great, especially like a white, extra sharp cheddar. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cheese in and whisk while I do that so it doesn't just form one giant clump. Okay, now it's formed this beautiful cream sauce. It's a beige color. We're gonna try this. Maybe you can see that. It's a beautiful cream color. Let me got some cheese on the whisk still. And the only spices I've added, well, I haven't added any spices. I put salt on the mushrooms, but those are in a bowl right here. So I'm gonna just check it for flavor. You can tell it coats the back of the spoon nicely. It's currently boiling in here, so I'm gonna give it one last whisk and turn it down to low. I'm gonna burn myself doing this, maybe. Okay, that's better than I thought. So I'm gonna add some salt and black pepper and see where that gets. I also grabbed some nutmeg because I feel like a bechamel sauce, which is what your flour, butter, roux added with milk becomes a bechamel. Okay, so that's probably like a teaspoon of coarsely ground black pepper. I just think cream sauces benefit nicely from adding nutmeg. I'm going to add 2 pinches of salt. And then 1 pinch of nutmeg, if you can read that. If not, I promise you it says nutmeg. Okay. It almost looks like a white gravy, except thinner. The longer you cook it though, it will thicken up. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my mushrooms. This was the 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. that we cooked earlier. Mix those in. And this is 1 pound of blanched green beans. If you don't want to blanch fresh green beans, I would just do like the steamable frozen green beans and just cut them into like 1.5 2-inch pieces. Just makes it easier to eat, and then you don't have anybody like getting green beans all over their face. It's not a good look. Okay, green beans going in. Normally I would just dump them in, but I think there might be some water left at the bottom of this, and I don't really want to add water to this sauce. A little water. And then back to our spatula. We're just gonna let all these friends get to know each other. It is gonna bake in the oven, so you don't need it to be super, like, you're not cooking it in here, you're just getting everything in the same pan and mixing. Ooh, you know what might be nice? Going off script. Where's my microplane? I just use this for the garlic, but I'm gonna add some lemon zest because I think that would be nice to this pretty heavy dish. Okay, so I use a microplane. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but I use it with the microplane blades facing the fruit down. So when I pull, I keep all of my zest in the little trough. And then I know exactly how much I am grating into the dish. I don't know if this is right. I just think it's the most efficient. Okay, so I probably zested half of this, 3/4 of it. We're just gonna dump that right in there. Lemon back over to produce over there. Just make our hot toddy later. Is it really the holidays if you're not drinking and Is it really the holidays if you're not drinking and cooking and your family, aka your cats, are annoying you? Oh, you'll be fine. Okay, so this looks great. I am going to let this hang out. I'm going to try to bring you closer, and I'm going to put it in the baking dish for the oven. Yes, yes I am. Okay, one second. Okay, great. So I'm going to attempt to fill this with this sauce and not spill a lot of it. I also have just unusually heavy pans. Okay, so it all goes in. Okay, so now the only thing we have to do is get our crispy shallots. So this is what they look like. Can you hear them? ASMR. Okay, so I am just going to, maybe I won't put them on right away. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna bake this for a little bit and then I'll see how it's doing and then I'll add these closer when it's done because they are so cooked already. I don't want them to be burnt. Okay, so next time you see me, it'll be out of the oven. 400 for whatever time I insert here. Okay, so here we have our finished green bean casserole. It is set up nicely. I'm gonna let it cool a little longer. And I just went ahead and I put the fried shallots around the exterior for a classic look. And yeah, thank you so much. This was my first cook through YouTube video. I realized the lighting is not good and I have to figure out how to deal with the sound from my induction burner, but you know, video 1, me talking at you and cooking, done. Right, I'm gonna go take pictures of this since the lighting is still good by my window, and I will see you all when I do this again. Bye! Hi, it's me again. Sorry, I just took all my lights down so the lighting's weird and the camera's different, but I forgot I didn't show you what I did with the shallot oil. So it's been cooling the entire time I took that video. So I just have a mason jar, a ball jar, and I put shallot oil because that's what this is, and the date. And I'm just gonna do one last strain into the jar because there are a few sediments at the bottom, and hopefully this won't make a giant mess. Hold on. We're just gonna put this in a bowl just in case I have some overflow, so I'm really sorry if the lighting's weird. But I'm just gonna take the oil and the strainer and slowly pour it into the middle. And of course, since I took precautionary measures not to make a mess, no mess was made. Because that's the way the world works. Let that drip off. And so this is probably a cup of oil, a hefty cup of oil. I could have used a smaller jar, but I didn't want to know. And so that's what I do. And now I will keep it on my shelf for future use. Okay, bye. Okay, so here we have our finished, what did I just make?